Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. All right, so Team Canada, men's Olympic team, just finished their first game, and it was exciting. It was a really good game. Why don't we break it down? So in the first period, right at the beginning of the game, Canada started off with Sidney Crosby as the first line center. It was rumored that he was going to be the third line center. He actually ended up starting the game as a first line center, and McDavid was actually the third line center. But all that stuff gets juggled around, and those guys get all their ice time. But it was interesting to see because it was a little bit different from the order that we had seen reported. The first 5 minutes of the game, Canada came out flying. We were dominating in shots there and had a power play opportunity, but unfortunately we were unable to capitalize on that power play. McDavid laid a huge hit in that game. Overall, McDavid had a great game. Had 3 assists. But yeah, McDavid laid a big hit. There was a few big hits. McKinnon laid out a nice hit. Wilson was chippy out there. He laid the body out on some of the Czechia players. And the scoring was supposed to start, but unfortunately there was a tripping call on Suzuki when McKinnon scored, which was kind of like, if you look at Suzuki in the NHL, I think he has 8 minutes in penalty minutes in the NHL. It just looked like on the replay he got tangled up in a stick. There's no reason for Suzuki to trip the Czechia player, especially when they were on the offensive there driving towards the net. So just some bad luck, but regardless, it didn't matter. But Canada officially got on the board near the end of the first period there on a nice tip in by the new guy, Celebrini. Tipped the puck in. It got reviewed to see if it was a high stick, but everything was good. So it's nice to see the new guy contributing to Team Canada. In the second period, we had Mark Stone, who made it 2-0 off of a crazy pass from Mitch Marner, a backhanded pass. It was very, very impressive. And they ended up jumping over the defenseman. That made it 2-0. There was a play for McDavid on a 2-on-1, a pass that was right across to him. He got absolutely robbed by the Czechia goaltender, Dostal, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. But he just needed to elevate the puck. Regardless, he ended up being all over the place with his 3 assists. Later on, Bo Horvat scored on a partial breakaway, which was nice to make it 3-0. Later on, the Canadians had a power play, and Nathan McKinnon scored the 4th goal to make it 4-0. And then even then, you could see, okay, they weren't as excited anymore because they knew that they had the game in their hands. They were in control. And finally, Suzuki scored the 5th and final goal for Canada, who ended up winning 5-0. It was great to see all the new players who hadn't been on Team Canada before, like Suzuki, Celebrini, contributing to the team, right? So the future is bright with the Canadian program. Plus, you got guys like Connor Bedard, who will probably play for Team Canada at some point. So you had a youth infusion. You had some veterans with McKinnon and McDavid playing extremely well. The game wasn't all as perfect as we might want to say it was. For example, Canada had an injury to Josh Morrissey. He did not return. Don't know the extent of the injury just yet. Hopefully he's okay, though. You never want to see anybody get hurt. Overall, the game was fast-paced. Like I said, Canada started out really fast. However, if you actually looked and paid attention, near the end of the first period, I think there was about 4 minutes left. They were actually tied in shots. So Czechia came on a little bit later on, but as the game progressed, you could see Canada start to pull away. So let me know what you think of this game, because this game was, for me, it was exciting. It was fast. It had some hitting. It had some scoring. It had some saves. Binnington was good. He did his job. He got the shutout. It's amazing what happens when you have a team that's defensively responsible. Like, you look at the forwards, they played a 200-foot game. They came back to help out in the defensive zone, right? That's important. So it's a little bit different from his NHL team. Not trying to throw shade or anything, but they had a much better, let's just say they gave him an opportunity to succeed. He was placed in a better position. So the next game for Canada is tomorrow. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround. Tomorrow against the Swiss at 3 10 Eastern time. And that game will also be on CBC. So hopefully you get to watch that game. Go Canada, go. Please, if you have a chance, give me a like, comment, and subscribe. All right, take care.